Yo, yes. What's going on? Welcome to DiceyWorld. It's your main man Dice back up in this thing. I know it's been a while. I hope everybody is nice and safe, and healthy. The last time you guys were tuned in, we had my main man Eileen Wade on the show talking about and discussing his project, running out of ish to rap about. That was a great interview. Shout out to Eileen, him and my sister out there in California. This past weekend they had a little bit of a hurricane situation and an earthquake. So man, Mother Nature is uneasy over there on the west side, California. You feel me? But we're going to transition from a musical, themed show, hip hop last week. We're going to get right back into hoops, into basketball. We're going to discuss the NBA schedule, some of the games we're looking forward to checking out, you know, just anything that's popping out to us, the James Harden situation, stuff talking about the greatest point guard of all time. But we're going to have my main man, DeShaun Tate. He joined us a couple episodes ago to discuss the Summer League. We might get his little take to follow up on that, discuss the last week or two of the Summer League. Um, any body or players that stuck out to us. But speaking of basketball, what's today? Tuesday night. I just watched the Las Vegas Aces come to Atlanta College Park and defeat the Atlanta Dream, spearheaded and led by MVP favorite Asia Wilson. And you know what? She had 53 points. She tied a WNBA career high with Liz Campage. Shout out to her. Her mental health and recovery. Didn't forget about you, Liz, man. But you know what? That just really emphasized and just reiterated a thought I had the other day. I said, you know what? We need to give more shine and light out to women hoopers, specifically the WNBA. No, you know what? All women's all women basketball on the collegiate level, NBA level, I'm sorry, WNBA level, professional level, because these women can hoop. They some real hoopers out here. Um, yeah, but Asia Wilson had a career high WNBA time career record, 53 points against Atlanta. And the biggest criticism I hear about, people not connecting with the WNBA, they say that these girls are not athletic, it's not exciting, they're not dunking. I mean, but how many dunks are you seeing in NBA games though? Like maybe 5 to 7, 8, 9. And out of those 9 dunks, are you seeing anything crazy? I mean, you've seen the same old dunks, so that's not really a big deal. These girls out here are fundamentally sound, technicians, competitor, really competitive. I mean, high basketball IQ, got moves, handles, hezzies, uh, you know, uh, dribble packages, jelly, combination, counter moves. I mean, they out there really hooping. You know, uh, left elbow turnaround, jump hooks, spin, phase, anything. Most of the things that the NBA players, the NBA guys out there doing, the WNBA women are doing as well. So I think I'm gonna give a little shine and spotlight to the women really soon coming up, like sometime this week. I've been thinking about this segment, introducing a segment called the bucket list. No, not the bucket list like the things you want to accomplish before you die. I'm talking about like buckets, getting buckets on the court, like a top 5 bucket list. And I think I'm gonna, initiate and commence that whole segment, honoring and dedicating a little something for the women hoopers out there. But yeah, the NBA schedule. Wow. Anyway, we're gonna have my main man DeShaun Tate to discuss this schedule. Matter of fact, here he is. To no further ado, let's bring him in right quick. DeShaun Tate. My man getting set up right now. It's all
There you go, my man, Iron Mike.
the one and only
You
was
caught me
good.
with you caught me with my pants down, bro.
Oh snap! Oh Lord! Oh
You
Lord!
ain't you couldn't tell by the you couldn't tell by all the undergarments and all the flowers that was being thrown at me.
Hey man, I have no idea about that, broski. Man, what's going on with you, man?
Man, blessings and prosperity, man. Appreciate you for having me on the pod per usual. Just um, blessed to be in the presence of greatness and ready to talk some hoops. I know you didn't bring me on here to talk about no football. In which I'm gonna throw something your way because
Here
I
we
know
go.
we get long winded. I get crazy with it. But how about this for a proposition? I know you're gonna post this. Everybody gonna run with it. Let me just put my bid in on it first before y'all put y'all bid in as viewers and listeners, and then all my numbers drop. Right.
Okay,
So we know you to be right, a Michigan man, right,
that is true.
and we know me, right. I'm stand and fight, 300, Sparty party. You feel me, right? How about this? I did my own research on this. How about this? With both programs having really good shots, right? If you parlay the Michigan Wolverines to win a national championship right now,
Oh
with
wow.
Michigan State to win the national championship on the basketball side,
Mm.
100 get you 16K. So do with that what you will. Do listen. I don't know what the blue side gonna do this year. I only know what the green side gonna do. What up,
I was going to say, bro, I'm not even
though?
sure my pride's going to allow me to do anything money related with Sparty Party, whatever you call them
Respect.
thing.
That's okay. Send it this way. Send it this way.
No, no, it's all good. Let's talk about, like you said, you are here to talk about basketball, man. But the last time you were on here, D Tate, the clip went viral. We had you on here. I asked you about, the Pistons first round pick. Um, I'm still gonna mess his name up. Asar Thompson. Did I say his name right?
Mm-hmm.
I said, what kind of feeling do you have about him? Cause I don't know, but it ain't a good feeling.
Yeah.
That went
Yeah.
viral, bro. Now I know the summer league is all done, everything. Do you want to like amend that statement, or after seeing him play in the summer league, do you stand by that? What's going on with our first round pick for the Pistons?
I'm gonna be honest. I feel better about it,
Okay.
but not much better.
Oh,
I need
wow.
to see a little bit more. I mean, listen, I'll tell you the good thing that I like about what I saw from Thompson in the Motor City is that he didn't try to go out there and do too much, and he didn't try not to do too much.
Okay.
It's you got to have that gray area, find that happy medium, or be able to find that balance.
Mm-hmm.
Of when you're one of these guys, especially those who are participating in the summer league, you're trying to go out there and look for a job, whatnot. You're trying to land a job. They're not looking for a guy who's about to go out there and shoot every shot and drop 40, trying to prove a point on everybody. But they also want you to get in your bag a little bit, be comfortable in your bag, and go out there and play your game, but not just pass the ball on every possession. Like you got to really be able to develop and establish that balance, especially when you're a top 5 pick. You got a lot of guys coming at your head with
Mm-hmm.
the target on your back, with the
Mm.
bullseye on your back. So you really do have to have a mature mindset and a mature game already before the tip off being that high of a prospect. I like what I saw. Did I love what I've seen? Outside of that, not a lot outside of the athleticism, but he just played balance. He played like he kept his head. He wasn't out there talking too much. I don't get the impression that he's a big talker. We've seen on some of the defensive, key plays and things of that nature. So I was okay with it. I'm okay with somewhere between a B to a C plus.
Absolutely, man. That's a decent grade. And like you said, man, in the summer league, you're not trying to establish too much stuff, man. You just want to show that you can like hang with the big boys, that you are a professional, man. And I think he did prove that. I gotta give him a little NBA comp though. Just watching this game, I said he reminds me of a younger, slightly more athletic Harrison Barnes. What you think about that?
Okay. I don't think that that's bad. I'm not sure
Okay.
what that's saying about Harrison Barnes, but realistically though, but I'll tell you this much though. This is why I love summer league, and I'm gonna end it on this note. I love summer league because it reminds me of so much behind why I love the NFL preseason. Right? There's a lot of guys out there who you don't know their names, they looking for jobs, but they got mortgages and they
Mm.
got mouths to feed. A lot of them got
Mm-hmm.
kids and they've been at this for a minute, you know. And so they out there, they're head hunting, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
They cracking, you know,
Mm-hmm.
they laying it all out there on the floor. Some of these guys, you know, when you already got your job, you already got a spot established on the roster and whatever else, what have you, you know, you kind of like take it for what it is, it's just summer league. But you got a lot of guys out there that's like really playing for real. I mean, you
Yeah.
can't tell them that it's not the NBA finals, you know,
Right.
especially when you're trying to land that job. We can all, as people, kind of relate to what that is like when you got to kind of perform. Forget about the big stage, on any stage, on
Mm-hmm.
every stage, you
Mm-hmm.
know, anybody, any place, anywhere, anytime. Like, that's just what it is. So I kind of look at Summer League. I get it. Some people are like, but it's Summer League. No matter what somebody does, it's like, yeah, but it's Summer League. But
Mm-hmm.
if you don't perform all that well, it's like, damn, he didn't even do that well in the Summer League against these dudes. Imagine what it's going to be when you play them. So you do kind of have to have a balance and have to have like a realistic mentality of what your expectations are.
And I well said. And I think your boy Imani Bates definitely embodied that, that mentality as evidence in the championship game in the summer league when he led the Cavaliers to a chip, like you said, in summer league. But any kind of championship on any level, bro. I mean, you gotta put in work. You have to be good for something, man. And he definitely played like he got a mortgage where he's not guaranteed a spot in the NBA. So I was definitely impressed by Imani for the Cavaliers.
Yeah, just real quick on that. I mean, listen, when you
Mm-hmm.
come in with the kind of hype that he has, there ain't
Mm-hmm.
many guys who has. You know, there. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you could talk about your generational players and so forth. We talk about LeBron. We talk about, you know, coming out anyways. You know, Zion, Victor
Mm-hmm.
Wembanyama. There aren't many guys on that list that's like we having conversations. I mean, think about it. I mean, what, 15 years old, 16 years old on the cover of Sports Illustrated? That's already enough for me. So, you know, he's definitely got to grow into his body, his frame. He's got to grow into his game a little bit more. He's getting away from the daddy ball a little bit. But I mean, he's very accomplished already as it is without accomplishing anything by some other people's standards who I would respectfully disagree with. But when you win multiple state championships, you win Mr. Basketball,
Come on.
you know, you win a summer league, you know, you won on multiple levels at such a young age, and when you already got a lot going up against you in terms of off the court situations and people
Mm-hmm.
counting you out and dissing you, and I'm a Sparty. That's just the way it is. But I still want to
Mm-hmm.
see him succeed regardless. I don't bash the young man. He come from the
Right.
Great Lakes State, of which we do.
Yes.
So, you know, I just want to see him do well, and I think that he will. And he came, he showed out a little bit, and I think he got a lot more in his bag. He's always going to be considered more to me, more of an NBA type of style player, more ready for the league than he was anything collegiately. I'm not sure that any of that was really going to help him out a whole lot, no matter what jersey he played on a
Mm-hmm.
collegiate level.
No, that's a fact, man. Well said, man. We definitely going to keep our eye on the money, and I definitely think he's going to get some tick this year, and I really think he's going to be in the Cavaliers rotation, man, like getting late minutes in the fourth quarter. All right, man. Now you're here to talk about this whole NBA schedule. It was released what last week? Yeah, last week, right?
Yeah, earlier in the week, I think, not even
Yeah,
last week for real. Well, yeah,
exactly.
technically last week, yeah.
Yeah, so I definitely want to get you on here for your thoughts, bro. Hold on. We gotta get it cracking right now. I want to pull up the schedule right quick.
Okay, let's do it.
All right. All
Boom.
right, boom. So we got opening night, the 24th, LA Lakers at the reigning NBA champions, Denver Nuggets, and then Phoenix Suns at Golden State Warriors to end the night. I love the way that the NBA they have that taste for drama, bro. Like LeBron's gonna be salty. You know what I'm saying? He's used to all the attention, all eyes on him. He's the NBA's all-time leading scorer. In the opening night, he has to go to somebody's crib and watch them get a championship ring. Oh man, that's gonna be crazy. I mean, what you think about opening night?
As he should. You know, that's the way that it should be. You want to be cemented in this game as the best. You're going to get put up against the best. They the ones that put you out. It wasn't even close. Was that a clean sweep, if I'm not mistaken? I
Yeah,
mean,
it
like the
was.
reality is West Coast, Western Conference Finals or not. I still, a lot of people consider that to be the Lakers being a boom or bust, a win it all or bust type of season. I think that most Laker fans would agree when I say they came away in comparison to the way they started the season, especially after the Westbrook trade. They really helped themselves out a lot and kind of really over, they really kind of overachieved in terms of the way that they finished. So while that is a cool matchup, I think the other one is going to be slightly better just because of, like you said, the drama, everything surrounding Chris Paul. Sometimes it kind of
Mm.
feels like, to a degree, that Chris Paul is just wherever he goes, you can pretty much guarantee that they're not going to get a ring on that team. That's just a feel. But that's just a feel, though, right? That's just a
Yeah.
feel. But the reality also on top of that is everywhere he's gone, I don't care if it was OKC, I don't care if it was the Clippers, I don't care if it was with the Rockets, I don't care if it was with the what was that, the Pelicans or Hornets or whoever that was at that time. I mean, regardless, everywhere he went, he
Mm-hmm.
made players around him better. And there's
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people, rings or jewelry or not, that has they owe. There's a lot of people in this league that owes Chris Paul because he really taught them how to win, if not win championships, how to win and how to lead.
And that's a great point. And that's why I'm kind of like confused though, D Tate, to tell you the truth. I mean, it's like Golden State, they already know how to win. Like, what are you going to really teach Steph and the crew something that they already don't know in regards to like taking them to that next level? Maybe he's not there to take them to that next level. Maybe he's there to like reinvigorate them or get them hyped up again, or just, I guess, you never too old to learn something new, man. I just feel
Mm-hmm.
like what's the whole fit there, man? Like, are you going to start them? Are you going to bring them off the bench? And if you do start them, you're going to have like a real small lineup. You're going to move Clay down to the 3, and then what, Wiggy at 4, and then Draymond at 5. I know it's a positionless league right now, but even with that comment and that statement, most of your cats that's finishing games, you're gonna have a lineup featuring like 5 cats, 6'5" and up, though. 6'4" to 6'8", 6'9". So I still don't know how it's gonna, fit. I hope Chris Paul is healthy. The last year and a half, especially in the playoffs, he seems like he lost a step or two, bro. He's not really initiating that fast break. I saw him sometimes on rebound outlets from like Aiton. He'll just pass the ball up to like Booker and let Book, initiate the offense. So I'm just very curious how he's going to fit in offensively.
No, I agree with you on that. I'll tell you this much though, that's not for us to figure out. That's up to the head coach of the FIBA right now, Steve Kerr.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody can figure it out and his last name ain't Popovich or Spoelstra, I guess, that's one guy that can figure this whole thing out. He's being cemented in this league as literally one of the best ever to coach. I mean,
Yeah.
think about something for a second. How many titles do he have with Chicago?
Oh, Phil?
No, Steve.
Oh, Steve Kerr. He won 3 in Chicago.
So he's got 3 in the shy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know how many finals appearances he has with them, but he
Mm-hmm.
has how many titles in Golden State? Is
Uh,
it 4?
he won 4, and let's not forget the
4.
rings he got in San Antonio.
Yeah, exactly. On top of that, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and we're not
Mm-hmm.
even gonna talk about the finals appearances that he done had. I feel like they've been over the last 12 years. They've been to what, like 9 finals, or maybe not that many, but it's a ridiculous amount. All things
Right.
being considered, like he's up there at the top. If somebody can figure it
Mm-hmm.
out, it's not going to be DeShaun Tate and Mike Dyson. It's going to be Steve Kerr. And that's one of the things. Sometimes we get so excited about how some of these things are going to fit amongst the players. I like to see
Mm-hmm.
sometimes how things are going to fit with the coach, because it's a new challenge
Mm.
or something new to embrace from a coaching standpoint too. So while other people are kind of embracing the game of golf, I'm embracing, the head coaching strategies, the clipboards, the X's and O's, balancing, just egos and everything else, just
Mm-hmm.
contrast of styles amongst, bringing in new players.
Hold on, I'll follow up with that, man. Let me get back to this golf statement you just made. So
Yeah.
define embracing golf. Like, You trying to like learn the rules? Are you watching it? Are you out there on those links? You know what I'm saying, with the grip, you know what I'm saying, everything like that. Learn and get your swing going with your birdie and your putts and everything like that. Like, please embellish on that on the
I'm
golf.
not doing I'm not doing none of that. But that was my point that I was making is while some other guy, as we get older, like golf is the thing, guys aren't going out and maybe playing basketball as much and just trying to, embrace other things. It seems like golf
Yeah.
is one of those things as you get to a certain age, guys is
Hmm.
going out and doing. I haven't hit that point in my life as of yet. So that's what I'm embracing. I am embracing
Mm.
not so much as far as like how players are going to make things work, but how coaches are going to find a way to balance things. I'm embracing that the same way other people are probably embracing the golf game. Terrible analogy, by the way.
Nah, it was good. I'm just slow, bro. You broke it down very great, bro. You broke it down very good. I was just trying to look at the schedule for Christmas, bro. So for Christmas Day, let me see here, bro. What we have here? It's going to be 12 o'clock, Milwaukee Bucks at the New York Knicks, 2:30, Golden State at Denver, 5 o'clock, Boston at LA, 8 o'clock, Philadelphia at Miami, and then 10:30 to close the night. It's going to be Dallas and Phoenix. What do you think about that lineup?
I'm not in love with any of those because, and I know
Yeah.
what Christmas is all about and seeing the stars and the star-studded, lineups and everything else. And I mean, I guess that's cool and that's all right to a degree, but I feel like sometimes these holiday games and different things like that just doesn't it doesn't have the same effect that it did on me when I was growing up. I'm not looking forward to it nearly as much. And maybe I just feel like the competitiveness, respectfully, is just a little bit different.
Mhm.
Guys, was when you played on Christmas Day, I mean, you looked forward to Christmas Day. You know what I'm saying? Like guys were looking forward to that. I feel like not necessarily more back in the day, but just differently. So I mean, I guess it's cool. It's a nice, lineup and whatever else, what have you. But I want to see some of these other guys on Christmas. I want to see some of these younger guys. I don't want to just see just the biggest stars in the game. Obviously, I want to see some of them, but game after game, I guess is cool. But I would like to, they incorporate, in-game tournaments and everything else. I would like them to see them do things a little bit different. The rivalry, who you say, Boston and LA, I think you said on
Mhm.
Christmas Day. I mean,
Mhm.
but it's not the same effect as a rivalry as it once had. So I'd like to see them invigorated. I know you like that word. Some new energy in some sort of way. I like to see how creative the NBA can get with that in terms of the way that they do Christmas because it just feels like another Christmas with 5 straight games.
No, that's a fact, bro. And speaking of creativity, when I sit back sometimes and I watch NBA TV, I might see some like ESPN, I'm sorry, ESPN, like some old classic games. And then to my surprise, I would see like one-on-ones. Like I saw Kareem Abdul-Jabbar versus Dr. J, like during like all-star games or halftimes and stuff like that. I'm like, wow, I would love to see some of the old legends like T-Mac, I don't know, play somebody like Vince Carter or something like that, one on one. They had those kind of events. Then they had like the old timers game, man. Like those kind of ideas were like super lit to me, bro. So I know the NBA has the capability and the ability to do it, and they definitely have their ears to like the people. And that if that's something that we want to see, along the lines of what you're talking about, just seeing like different rivalries, I know they'll be open to that. And then speaking of which, that's a great transition because yeah, this game is not on the slate. We're talking about opening night, open the week, but I can't wait to watch the Detroit Pistons play the Houston Rockets this year. I want to see that little Rocket rivalry. You know what I'm saying? Try to say that fast. Rocket rivalry, the alliteration. I want to see that game. And then I also want to see Spurs versus Lakers. Back to the whole, idea about LeBron being selfish in a good way. He's used to everything being not handed to him, but being the center of attention as the marquee name and individual. I want to see how he embraces and reacts and responds to seeing Wemby, the next phenom. I want to see that interaction, man. But I'm just wondering, anything outside of like opening night, Christmas Day, like a matchup you looking forward to seeing?
Yeah, about the Pistons and the Rockets.
Yeah, I want to see that, and I want to see like Spurs versus Lakers, man. I was just wondering any like matchup that was not on opening night or Christmas that you're looking forward to seeing.
I don't know if it's about opening night or Christmas or whatever, what have you, but there's just other games that I'm just looking forward to on the schedule in general. Handy dandy notebook.
Nice.
So, we are going to look forward to seeing some returns or some looking forward to their first game or looking forward to their first game back. Obviously, with the rookies, you obviously going to put Victor Wembanyama in that conversation. But I want to see Scooter, for the first time. I would be really intrigued to see the way that looks with Damian Lillard, if I'm just being honest with you. But you have other guys. At some point, I don't remember the date, but we're going to get a chance to see John Morant back on the floor again. Can't wait till we can see Zion on the floor again
I think that's
in his
December
first
9th for
game
John
back,
Morant. I think he's coming
December
back
9th.
December 9th. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
John Morant is okay, yeah. So looking forward to some of those things, like the other guys. I'm looking forward to seeing. And maybe is it the biggest deal in the world? No, and I'm not trying to be a homer about it, but Charlotte gets Miles Bridges back. If he's anything at least half of what we last saw him as, then we could expect somebody to have a really good season. Obviously Dame being another one, but how about on November 14th, on that Tuesday, where you have highly anticipated matchup between, ironically enough, two guys in terms of just their frame and their skill set and everything they're expected to be at the next level, highly anticipated, seeing what they're going to be. Victor Wembanyama against Chet Holmgren. Both of them going to be rookies. Obviously everybody know about, the Chet Holmgren injury, prior to the beginning of the season last year. But, that's going to be interesting. The Victor Wembanyama against Scoot Henderson, I think is going to be interesting a couple of days after Christmas. So I know that this next one, and this is just me taking a little bit of a jab at you a little bit, but this next one is something that probably isn't going to get the publicity that some of the other matchups that I named. But, when you do get a chance to see Jordan Poole back on the floor again against his old team against Golden State, for the reasons which I believe are obvious, and Draymond Green, and are they going to shake hands or whatever, narrative that you want to throw out there. But those are just a couple of the ones that, I do think outside of the box could be a little bit interesting. I like to look forward to some of these young guys and those matchups creating the new rivalry.
I'm so with you, man. Definitely. I was thinking the same thing. I'm curious to see how Dame and Scoot can like look together, man, because Scoot, raw talent, young, athletic.
I
Dame.
think they tricking us, Dice. I think they tricking us, bro. I think that they know that they gonna make it work all around.
Right.
I'm a believer in that. I believe that they know that it can work and that they're planning to make it work and that they're going to shock a lot of people by Dame returning back and then being in the backcourt.
If anybody can do it, that can embrace that, I really feel like it's Dame, bro. He's very, he's just like a player's player. He's cool. He's non-dramatic, you know what I'm saying, mature. And I just look at them, to use a football analogy like you used earlier, pardon me. I kind of look at this like potentially as, Dame playing the position of Aaron Rodgers. School can be like the Zach Wilson, kind of like learn from the master. And then when it's time to transition, then Zach will be ready or School can be ready. Dame is still in his prime, bro. Like I was watching some highlights earlier. I forgot this year in the All-Star game, he was pulling from behind half court, like which is like a regular set shot, and just netting it. So all swish, man. So I definitely think that could be dynamic. Now they obviously need other pieces to complement them, but I really feel like if anybody can embrace that idea, at least give it a shot for like a month or two, what I'm saying, will be Dame. The other matchup you had mentioned was Chet versus Wemby. That will be interesting. If you remember our last episode together, I feel like Chet Holmgren, that's my favorite for rookie of the year. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Wemby gets it or Scoop, bro, but I really feel like Chet, man, has something to prove. He's a beast defensively, bro, so it's going to be lit. Anything before I move on to FIBA USA Hoops?
No, I agree with that. I'm gonna take Scoop for real. But no, I think that all of those are, obviously very good points, and I know that Chet has a little bit of a chip on
Chip
those
Holmgren.
yeah, Chip Holmgren, man, on them bony shoulders. Because listen, we talked so much about Chet Holmgren for such a long time, and once he went down with the injury, and then the world started to learn more and more about Vic. Like it was like Chet who? Chet Holmgren. You know what I'm saying? Like that's essentially what it turned into. So I do like the idea of seeing what Chip Holmgren can bring to the table, and I want to see what kind of dog he got. I think he got a little bit more in him than people give him credit for.
Yes, indeed. So moving on to the hoops, man, FIBA. I'm not even gonna lie and tell you I've been like paying a lot of attention. I haven't been paying too closely to the squad, but what I have seen is I can tell that, starting from the coaching staff with Steve Kerr, you can tell that, it passed on, that, that whole mentality, chemistry, just like, the whole, I don't know, the whole ethos of what the USA trying to do started by Coach K, and then passed down to Coach Pop when they won the Olympics last time. You can tell that Steve Kerr kind of like picked up the baton and is preaching the same philosophy. It's like the players are buying in. I say that because I see a lot of kick, a lot swing, good defense. And the one standout player I've seen is obviously Ant-Man. I mean, he's just like the guy, but everybody else is playing their position. Jalen Brunson has been a surprise, he's playing well. I really feel like, we said this before, man. You always know who's the best player on the court by the player that's dictating the pace. You know what I'm saying? Whatever team Jalen Brunson is on, even on the team with Luka, he was dictating the pace, bro. You know what I'm saying? So he's a bona fide hooper, bro. But I feel like Ant-Man and Jalen Brunson have been the standouts. Shout out to Halliburton, too. What are your thoughts with the USA? What have you seen? Your thoughts, and who are the players standing out to you?
Yeah, it was some interesting games. I know the one against Spain, and then, within the last 24, 48 hours against Germany, winning by 8, I think 8 or 9, 8 points. That obviously was, and these are exhibition games. They're not counting for very much either. So, taking some of those things into consideration. Why Dennis Schroeder doesn't play like this all the time in the NBA, I don't know. But credit to your boys, the Wagner brothers, Franz and Mo, played very well as well. So, I mean, listen, we know that they're not getting we're not seeing the best of the best in the world on this USA team that the NBA has to offer. But credit to Ant-Man, who obviously has shown that he's the best player on this team, certainly on the offensive end, and even guys like Jaren Jackson, the reigning defensive player of the year. I think he had like 6 blocks the other day, or some along those lines, playing very well. There's a lot of guys. We know that we're not seeing the best of the best that the NBA has to offer on these teams. I don't think that we are far from. Obviously, the rules are different too when you're playing FIBA and things like that, World Games. But I do also believe that I think we're going to see an L coming. I don't know when. I don't know to whom. But I will say enough to say that we will get to a point.
Okay.
Of which we will get to a point of which we could see the U.S. team in some serious trouble. I do think that we will get to a point of which we could potentially see the U.S. in some serious trouble.
I hope it's not anytime soon, man, but you called it first. But if I'm not mistaken, this is not our final team. Like, that's going to be okay. Because I still, you know what? I feel like that's one not blemish, but that's like one missing element in Steph's career resume that he doesn't have yet, and that's like an Olympic gold medal. And I know a lot of players, it was cool like 10, 15 years ago to like poo on gold medal, but then Kobe came back and played and made it cool again. Everybody got fake patriotic and so forth. So I really do hope that Steph gets a gold medal. And I hope your boy Trey Young gets a gold medal. I've been seeing them two in the lab recently, man. So I think that'll be a great addition. Um, one more, all right, last thing, man. Last segment, last topic, bro. So um the last week or two we've been seeing the James Harden controversy and so forth, man. Without getting to like the fine details and minutia and everything, just overall from what you've been seeing, what's your overall feeling, like the take on Harden, man? Like what's going on over there in Philly?
I don't know, man. Like I feel like similarly to how I mentioned Chris Paul coming over to your team, that can pretty much you can kind of feel the vibe, the energy.
Yeah.
But there ain't gonna be no title coming with that for whatever reason. Not saying cancerous, but just in general. I do believe that the Harden thing feels a little bit more cancerous than Chris Paul. Chris
Mm-hmm.
Paul is just for whatever reason, the teams that he's on just ain't winning.
Right.
The Harden thing just has a little bit of a different feel to it.
Yeah.
Great basketball player, obviously, not teaching anybody anything there, but it's Philadelphia. They've had these expectations. They've gone from being really good to really bad to really good to really bad to, high expectations, been attached and stapled to them as titles, title contenders. It's not Ben Simmons' fault this time. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I just feel like, you ain't blaming Markel folks on this one, with all the trust the process. I can't be mad if Embiid just really wouldn't want to be there very much longer in the event. That wouldn't surprise me the least bit. The James Harden thing, I think is just. I think you should start this thing all the way over, man. You start out with Tyrese Maxey, and then you go from there. That's just kind of the way that I feel about it. I'm not in love with, I don't get into the comments that he made about, about Daryl Morey and all this other type of stuff. I just feel like that's just drama continued, and it's not doing any justice by the diehard fans that are seeing good product of basketball on the floor and a good product of talent that is on the roster, but still not feeling like they're getting much closer to a championship.
You made a great point though, bro. I have heard some people saying that they would blow it all up right now. To your point, like get Embiid up out of there, get Harden up out of there, and then build around Maxey. I'm like, that's a bold statement. And then I'm looking at Embiid. I read somewhere that recently that he's the only MVP out of 36 MVPs in the NBA's history that has not led his team to at least the championship series. I'm sorry, a conference championship. So you got to win, bro. So for you to be like the only MVP to not do that, that says a lot, man. So I love Maxey. You remember, I love Maxey ever since he like the game winner, game buzzer against your boys Michigan State, Kentucky versus Michigan State way back in the day, man. I've been loving Maxey, but I'm not sure if I want to like build a team around him. But I mean, he's a great piece to me, a great asset to complement. But I don't know about starting over with him specifically. Like you said, you're not trying to go into he say, she say with the Harden thing. But I did read today that Harden, partly why Harden called him a liar is because, uh, Daryl Morey promised him to trade him, and it didn't happen. I'm like, well, is that really Morey's fault though? You can't just make somebody trade you, bro. If you in the playoffs and you drop a 9 points in game 7, bro, who's gonna be eager to give you 34 years old, bro? Who's gonna be eager to trade for you and give you a $200 million contract? You gotta humble yourself. Like we said earlier this week, probably on the phone, man. Like the blueprint has already been set. You seen Carmelo Anthony, he had to humble himself, bro. You seen Russell Westbrook, he had to humble himself. You know what I'm saying? All these guys, top 50, top 75
Allen Iverson.
MVPs. Allen Iverson had to humble himself. Like, you're not that awesome, James Harden. Like, we've seen this act before, bro. You're not like, you know what I'm saying, unique in that matter, bro. You got to humble yourself, or the NBA always has a way of finding out to humble you on their own, man. So I hope you learn quickly.
I agree with it. I couldn't have said it, better myself. All those names that you just mentioned, I would rather have all those guys before I have James Harden. So if anybody else was not going to be as willing, if everybody else had to humble themselves, then he's not, any exception by any stretch of the imagination. So I'm cool on the James Harden thing, think he's a great player and whatever else, what have you. I just honestly believe that I don't think he knows how to win. Chris Paul thing I think is a little bit different. I think he knows how. He just hasn't been as fortunate. James Harden, I don't think that he knows how to win. I think he knows how to play basketball.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that he knows how to win.
Absolutely. There is a difference between knowing how to play basketball and winning. And I agree with the Chris Paul, bro. Like he's been up a couple times in series up 3-1, and no knock on Doc Rivers, but Doc Rivers was his coach when he lost three games to one series. And then a couple times he had the misfortune and bad luck of getting hurt, man, at the wrong time. So it's not like he just airballing missing shots. He just not.
Which I believe that they were going to lose that series anyways, if I'm just being honest. I said it when they were down 3-2. I said they're going to still find a way to win the series. Meanwhile, here comes 27 consecutive missed threes for Houston against Golden State. And last time I checked, James Harden was a part of that. And speaking of consecutive 27 consecutive threes, which I think this guy could actually make 27 consecutive and not miss. This last and single part of what's on the lower third there. This dude is my favorite player in the league, and I don't say that lightly because I'm not the type of person that's like favorite player. I'm not 8 years old. This is my favorite player. The things that Steph, the miraculous shots, amongst other things. Like sometimes I go back and I was listening to somebody on NBA radio earlier today, just talking about like if you go in and Google like Steph Curry's like made baskets after the whistle, like they're not gonna count anyway shots. Just whether it's throwing the floater up there as high as the light bulb or just whatever kind of miraculous shots, just because shots after the whistle was blown is crazy within itself. Greatest shooter of all time. I think we're having a conversation about shooting. Why not consider him a shooting guard? If he's the best shooter of all time, whether you put him in that point guard class or not, I'm not sure that he is it. Can't call him the best shooter of all time, or best shooting guard of all time either, because you have this guy named Michael Jeffrey Jordan. You might have heard of him before. But I think it's just safe to say that Stephen Curry is one of the best players to ever play this game at an elite level. He's at the top somewhere. But I just, Lansing bias aside, bro, I can't put him over Irvin, bro. I know people call Magic this and Magic that. That's when you know that's when you know that you're not from a place. You know what I'm saying? When you're from home, you call him Irvin. You know what I'm saying? When you come around home and you call him Magic, they like, oh, where you from? Because you ain't from there. So it's hard for me to put anybody, and it's gonna be tough. I think my mind is just set. Like, there's not really a whole lot that any player is gonna be able to do for me to say that he's gonna be over Michael as the GOAT or over Irvin as the best point guard I've ever seen play this game.
Well, yeah, man. I mean, you brought up some key points, and to me, it just comes down to semantics. Like you said, if Steph is the greatest shooter of all time, why not make him a shooting guard? But he's a point guard, man. That's what he's technically a point guard. So you gotta put him in that realm. But that reminds me like Allen Iverson, though. You gotta like put him as an outlier because like what is Ivo? Is he a point guard? But he played like a shooting guard though.
Eric Snow played point.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say.
You know what I'm saying? And then, but Draymond is technically the point. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying.
Facilitator or the ball handler or whatever.
Yeah, the point forward, man. And that's all Magic Johnson was, man. Like 6'9", when he first came out, bro, you were not that height pushing the rock. You had your back to the basket. You boxing out, trying to get rebounds and everything. So that's why I brought the semantics point. Like to me, point guard, it's like that Bob Cousy, Isaiah Thomas, John Stockton, like
natural born and bred, prototypical.
Yeah, point guard, like a leader, bro. Initiate the offense, man. Like being the quarterback on the court, man. Knowing where you're supposed to be more so than you even know it. Knowing where everybody's supposed to be on the floor.
The traffic director. The traffic director, the guy,
there you
like
go.
when the storm come through,
Yeah,
and you get up to the
yeah,
you get up to the light, and everybody
yeah,
got the red light, and
yeah.
you got the law enforcement out there in the middle of the floor, in the middle of the
Yeah,
road, telling them to stop, and you come on this way, and then telling y'all to stop, and y'all
yeah,
keep you know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like
yeah.
that's what that point guard is. It
That's
is
what.
algebra, it's geometry, it's
Yeah,
math, knowing
yeah,
the strengths and weaknesses of everybody on that floor
yeah.
all at the same time. And that's
Yeah.
and that's something I think that we kind of getting away from as a game. And I will conclude on this is, that's what kills me sometimes about the whole, combo guard conversation.
All right.
We so quick to call guys combo guards because they're not like prototypical born and bred point guards, but they're not great enough shooters or tall enough or big enough to be considered a shooting guard either. So we label them or pigeonhole them as in this term called a combo guard, when in reality, a combo guard, if you think about it, it's a combination. It's a combination of a guy who can actually do both, not a guy who can't do either of the things. It's a guy who can do both of those things. And that's where we got a large flux of guys who are primary scorers, not pass first guys. And we're calling them, either point guards or combo guards, which I think couldn't be, further from what the actual definition is.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like, it's just two words, man. When I think of point guard, like the thing you got to be able to do is that what Magic used to say. He got that he. If you ain't got no he, bro, you ain't no point guard.
You ain't got that.
They
I mean, that's just the
the he. And I was thinking about the other day. I said, bro, that must be an MJ thing. Michael Jackson hit you with the he, and then Magic Johnson hit you with the he. It's got to be an MJ thing, bro. But yeah, like Kyrie Irving, like Kyrie, Allen Iverson, Steph Curry, bro. They all like the same player to me, bro. Like 6'3", 6'2". They just trying to kill. They trying to score and get buckets. I mean, they have the ability to dish, but that's not their main focus, though, bro. They trying to kill you, bro. That's why I was always curious, man. I know you said, and I appreciate that last point, man. But I was always curious to see how somebody like Isaiah Thomas would play in this era, bro. I feel like he sacrificed so much of his game to be that quintessential point guard. Exactly. But anyway, from one point guard from East Lansing, number 12, to a shooting guard over here, I appreciate it, bro. We got a good show in. We covered so many points and so many topics, bro. Thanks for dropping by as well as usual, D Tate, for blessing us with the information, the different perspective, man. One thing about D Tate, he going to analyze and diagnose basketball, not like the average mom, but he gonna give you like that different perspective that the average mind's not going to think of or articulate beautifully, bro. You just did that just now, and I appreciate that for putting that on display, bro. Before you head out, any shout outs?
Yeah, there's a lot of people that would disagree with you with that last statement. Shout out to you, man, for having me on the pod, bro, and just showing love, bringing me back. Make sure that y'all gonna follow. Tate's Take is gonna have some really interesting things coming up as we get closer to October with the season tipping off. We call it, and that part won't go nowhere. The best, the most entertaining, the most informational, and the most educational basketball content on the planet in the form of a podcast. So we're gonna start doing some Tate's Take Tuesdays. We're gonna start doing some giveaways, and we're gonna get this thing back up and running and jumping like grasshoppers, man. So keep your eyes and your ears open. Find that anywhere you find your favorite pod.
I love it, man. I can't wait, bro. On those Tuesdays, baby. We'll definitely be on the lookout, bro. Much respect and love from DiceyWorld, man. Until next time, DT, be easy, my brother. I appreciate you, man.
In a minute, appreciate you.
Yes, sir. All right, that was my main man, DT. But anyway, though, I'm your main man, Dice. Thanks for listening. It was a good show. Like I said at the top of the show, be on the lookout for my little bucket list I'm going to dedicate for the WNBA and the WNBA Hoopers. Love them girls. But until the next time, be easy. Remember, anything can happen in DiceyWorld. It's your main man, Dice, and I'm out. Peace.